you, I ain't never been a bitch, nigga. I pop niggas, bitch, I'm really with the shits, nigga. I hit niggas, double barrel to his abs. When that Mossberg hit him, watch a nigga do a dab. These pussy niggas wanna see me dead. Since about 09, I done had a ticket on my head. I kill shooters, tell that nigga get his bread back. ATM the gang, I send that nigga head back. Whoever said that love begets love was wrong. I'm from a city where blood begets blood. And slugs hit niggas mug, that ain't bugs and cuffs. That's choppers for that loose talk, I'm coming plug you up. Pussy, push me, I bet he never see another day. Top at your face, bet you never see another day. When I get to shooting, this motherfucker get out the way. 0 to 100, my baby, it ain't got no delay.
What's up, dog?
What up, dog? Welcome back, Mike. How you been?
All right, man. I've been pretty good. Man.
All right. Well, I got a little bit of backlash after our last interview, so I figured, what the hell, man? Let's have Mike back on and do a Q&A, man. One-on-one with Mike Marino. Did I say that right, Marino?
Yes.
Like Dan Marino?
Yes.
All right, man. All right. For those that don't know, this is Felons Talk, and the link to his channel will be in the description box for you to go ahead and like, share, subscribe his content. He's got a lot of good things over there going on. A few interviews with the one and only ex-commissioner of the brand. That would be John Gresham.
Yeah.
Now, I get a lot of comments on my channel. One comment is, that dude is a racist. So let me just start with this straight up and down. Let me ask you straight out. Mike, are you a racist?
No, I'm not. No.
What is your affiliation with the brand, if you have any, for the audience?
My affiliation with them is basically that I did time with them. I was in the control unit with them. I was in Atlanta with them. I was in Atlanta when Barry Mills got there. Okay, he ended up killing 2 people there. I also had a murder there. We went to the control unit. Our murders had nothing to do with one another. Mine was first. He got 2 more after I already got sent to Marion. Basically, what happened was I was friends with a guy named Mike Bartosh. Mike was a really nice guy, laid back, humble dude. But he was from California, and him and Barry were in McNeil Island together. And Barry liked him a lot, and they were close. And Barry told him that he wanted to make him brand, to make him a member of the Aryan Brotherhood. And what happened was, they got into a beef with somebody, and it was him and Puppet and Puppet McKinney and Barry Mills and Mike Bartosh. They all got sent to different prisons because they got in I don't know what it was. It was some type of an assault in McNeil Island. And so Mike comes to Atlanta, and they sent Puppet. I guess they sent Puppet to Marion, and they kept Barry in transit for quite a few months, actually. And eventually they sent him to Atlanta. And when Mike found out that he was coming, he was all depressed. And I said, why are you depressed, man? This is your boy. I thought you loved, there was, I thought you guys were real tight and shit. He said, yeah, but he said he wants to make me part of the brand. And in order to do that, I got to go with him on a murder, because that's how you get, that's one of the ways you get in. And Mike was only doing 8 years at the time, he wasn't a murderer, you know what I mean? So he felt obligated to Barry. So he just was like, man, he wasn't looking forward to getting a murder case. Okay. So he was a little upset because he knew that this was going to happen. And he knew how Barry was. Barry's a killer. Okay. So that's how I met him. When he got there, I met him through Mike Bartosh, who, like I said, was a a very humble and laid back dude. And we got drunk, you know, while he was there. We first day he was there, we got him drunk, and that was it, man. After that, man, I really didn't have much to do with him because you know he went his own way. I think he moved into a cell house and all that. And then me and my cell partner, got a murder case, and we were in it. And then you know, so we were on our way to Marion. I really didn't get to know Barry that well at that point. And then he got 2 more murders back to back in about a 6-month period. And they only got him charged with 1, but he actually killed 2 people. He killed Harold Stanfield, and he killed the one he got indicted for was I forget the guy's name, Jewish boy. I forgot his name now offhand. You know, just been almost 50 years ago. Okay. Anyway.
Are the Aryan Brotherhood a racist group?
I want to say yeah, but on the same tip, I want to say that's not their focus. No, I wouldn't say that's their focus. Originally, they were like there was a lot of racial tension in San Quentin back in the day. And behind that, Aryan Brotherhood formed in San Quentin. The strongest in the white clique formed a car to, you know, to stand up any aggression that was being perpetrated by blacks and Mexicans against the white race. That's how it started. But the same people who started it also started extorting their own people. You know what I'm saying? So like anything else, man, like, you know, whenever you have, it just seems like whenever you have a crew like that, they always end up extorting their own people. You know what I mean? And Barry was doing a lot of that. Barry Mills did a lot of that. He was leaning on people for dope and shit. He had a lot of people scared, man. He was a dangerous man. Anyway, but as far as me being involved, I mean, okay, another guy, for instance, George Harp, he was one of the originators of the brand. He was from San Quentin. He was a friend of mine. I always liked him, man. He was a good dude. He was crazy, you know. He was another bully, you know. But who was the other guy? Al Benton. They call him Big Al. Big Al. I was actually a witness for him at a murder trial. He killed the guy in Atlanta, right? In fact, his murder was the murder before my murder. So these guys were all they became, well, Big Al wasn't Aryan Brotherhood until after he got to Marion, but you know, those were guys that were Aryan Brotherhood that I was friendly with.
And what did you witness to it? You said you witnessed to a murder for him. What do you mean by that? Explain that. You said you actually a witness in a murder for him.
Big Al Benton. Yeah. Okay. So what happened was one of the guys that was one of the guys that snitched on Al on a murder in Florida came to Atlanta. Okay. And they put him in admittance and orientation in B block. Well, we lived in B block. Al lived down the tier from me. I lived, we lived there. And admittance and orientation, what they call A&O, was also in B block. Well, they made the mistake of sending that guy right to Atlanta, right? And as soon as he came in, Big Al saw, that he was there. he didn't know the Big Al was there, I don't think, when they put him in A&O. And the next morning he got murdered, you know? And so basically me and my cell partner were witnesses that he couldn't have been the guy that did it. We were defense witnesses, in other words.
You were his alibi.
Yeah, we were his alibi. They found the knife in the trash can, and what we were testifying was that it couldn't be Al because we seen the guy throw the knife in the trash can. It was a black guy, and he was covered in blood, and we seen him throw the knife in the trash can, and that's exactly where they found the knife. And they said, well, who is he? And we said, well, we really couldn't tell you because he was black dude. And, you know, we just, so many black guys, we can't, you know, couldn't be sure who it was. But we know it wasn't Al because Al is white. You see what I'm saying?
Did that grant you favor with the gang?
I'm sure it did. But listen, at this point, he wasn't Aryan Brotherhood yet. You see what I'm saying? Al wasn't AB at that time. He was killing that guy because that guy ratted on him on a murder in Florida that hadn't even come to trial yet. So I guess that guy would have testified against him at that murder. Plus, he had already snitched on a bunch of other shit in Florida. They were doing some things. They were moving a lot of drugs. And when you're moving a lot of drugs, you got a lot of murders and all that, you know. So anyway, I mean, so Al wasn't AB when that murder occurred, you know. In fact,
Why are you blaming on the black guy, Mike? I gotta say that. That's fucked up. Y'all y'all said it was the black guy that did it. I gotta say that. If I don't say that, man, that's fucked up, Mike.
But I mean, it was plenty. You know, specifically, we said, well, man, they don't look alike, you know.
Oh, that's fucked up. No, we don't, man. But no, I dig what you're saying. It's prison. It's prison. So yeah, I can dig it.
Man, we're in Atlanta, Georgia in 1978, bro. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, it was pretty. Took advantage of some fucking things that, you know, that society would probably buy at that point in time.
I can dig it.
You know, it was just it's a way to do it. But so, I mean, I think, yeah, we probably did get a little favor from that. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus, like I say, Mike, I was plugged with Mike Bartosh, who also got the murder case along with Barry. But the thing was, for some reason, they didn't actually indict Mike, but they did lock him up and send him to the control unit of Marion. In other words, he did get an institutional beef for it. You know what I mean? But he ended up going to Marion, and he did it his time there in the control unit. And they let him out in population, and he had a brain aneurysm and died. So he never made it out, but he would never made it out anyway because apparently he was, you know, he was subject to die anyway, you know. But that was my involvement with them guys. You know, I knew them, and that was it, man. I would never join a gang in prison, man. For one thing, the attitude of Aryan Brotherhood is we're never getting out anyway. We're never getting out. If you have any aspiration to be an Aryan Brotherhood, it's because A, you know you're never getting out anyway, or B, you got a long time to go and you don't really give a fuck anyway if you do catch another body or whatever, because you just don't care, you know, because that's just the attitude these guys had. And I always wanted to, I always wanted to, you know, at the end to ask Barry Mills, was this really worth it, man? Like, he spent the last 30 years of his life slammed in either in Marion or in ADX, you know. I mean, he didn't have much fun in prison, let's put it that way. He didn't get out there and he take advantage of any of the good things that prison has to offer, such as, being out in population where, you can get to move around a little bit, get some drugs or whatever. He lost all of his privileges as far as, prison was concerned. And then he died in prison. I mean, I don't think, to me, I don't think that but he didn't give a fuck. That was his attitude. He didn't give a fuck,
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't care, bro. It was not his, I believe he told people, from what I've heard, he didn't say it to me, but he said, I don't care about getting out. I just care about living for the brand. I mean, that's a hell of an attitude, right? I could never have that attitude. And that's the attitude you have to adopt. And there's no way I could ever adopt that attitude, So
did you have to kill to become a member? Is it your understanding that you would have to kill sooner or later, if not to become a member or whatnot in the brand? Is that why you're saying that they had the attitude that they would never get out?
Yeah, that's their attitude, pretty much. Yeah. But as far as I was concerned, it wasn't something I was looking to be a part of, I
approached.
No. So, I mean, people aspire to that, they'd have a way of aspiring to be called upon for these, by these people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I never behaved in a way that showed that I was inspired and wanted to be part of that. If you know what I'm saying,
I understand.
It just never really attracted me in that way. It does attract some people, though. I know it does, but no.
Final question. Damn, I lost my train of thought right there. Final question as far as the brand goes and your would-be association, your friendship with Greshner. How did that come about?
He was in the control unit when I got there. John was a state prisoner from Minnesota. He was very wild in them days, man, very wild. And they had him in the control unit and Marion when I got there. He was already there,
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, he's just on the tier with us, He used to be able to walk up and down a flight of steps on his hands. He was pretty in shape, I guess you'd say, So.
Okay, well, let's talk about your charges, Mike. We're 20 minutes in or so. A lot of people, another thing I got in the comments was, that dude ain't been in nowhere and this and that and the other. You know how people want to just hate for the sake of hating. And we didn't get a chance to go over your charges. And like you said, you were in the control unit for a murder. I want to get a chance to get into all that. But what were you initially sent to prison for?
Armed robbery. Kidnapping, armed robbery.
And this is by yourself or with a co-defendant?
Co-defendant.
Okay. Kidnapping, armed robbery. What were you sentenced to?
25 years.
25 years for kidnapping and robbery.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened.
Did people you kidnapped die or something?
Huh? No, what happened was me and my co-defendant were in Los Angeles, right? I met this kid in New Orleans and at Mardi Gras, New Orleans. And I ended up stabbing a dude down there. He was with me. I had a problem with this guy. We had gotten into a fist fight, and I wasn't satisfied with the way the fist fight went. Anyway, I wanted to kill him. So I just wanted to kill the dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the guy and me was like, he came to me and apologized and this and that. And I said, yeah, we're okay. Don't worry about it, though. But really, I wasn't okay with it, I was still looking to kill him. And so I took Gary with me. And first, I gave him what I thought was going to be a hot shot of dope, right? It didn't work. He didn't die, right? So I went in his kitchen and got a knife, came back, and I started stabbing him, right? And the guy was begging and shit for his life. I want to give me his money. Take everything I got. Please don't kill me and all this shit, right? So I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want to. All I wanted to do was kill him, right? Gary stopped me. He said, "Man, please, he's had enough. He's had enough." And I said, "Well, I ain't had enough, motherfucker. I ain't had enough." And he said, "Come on, man. He's had enough." So I lit up on him. And so we had to leave New Orleans. We took all his shit and left.
Of course.
Anyway, we ended up in Los Angeles, man. And there was another beef. Dude he robbed my buddy Gary, right? And I said, well, I couldn't let it go. I could not let it go. So we're going to kill this one too, right? I said, well, trick him into coming in here. I'm going to step around from the side of the door. I'm going to stab him. I had a big ass knife, right? The guy seen me coming out of his peripheral vision. You know what I mean? And I would have killed him right there, but he stepped to the side just as I was getting ready to kill him. And I did stab him a couple of times, but he ran, and he got away. And so at that point, I knew the cops were going to be looking for me for that. So we decided to, get the fuck out of Dodge. We were going to Springfield, Missouri, which is where Gary was from, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, we robbed this other dude, took his gun from him, and we was on like a crime spree, right? Across the country. And we were carjacking people, pulling armed robberies. We stayed at this motel, right, for about a week. And we ended up robbing the motel, taking the people. There was no cell phones in them days. So we took the people, put them in the car, drove them out the desert, and kicked them out of the car to keep them from calling the cops. We didn't know we'd crossed into Texas, though. That made it a fed crime. Anyway, we had like several other, cases along the way.
Hold on. Not to interrupt. My part of self. You said you had crossed over from Missouri to Texas, and that made it federal.
No. From New Mexico.
From New Mexico.
New Mexico into Texas. Okay. When you cross over a state line, it's a federal case.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have just been a state case. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize we were that close to the Texas border. Never really been out in that part of the country before. Anyway, we kicked them out. We kept on going. And along the way, we were picking up more robberies and shit like that. Finally, we get to Springfield. We robbed the drugstore. And during the drugstore robbery, was going to drive us to St. Louis, or what was it, Kansas City, something like that. I'm not really familiar with that part of the country. So we're on the road now. We're taking off. We got all these bags of drugs from the drugstore and all this shit. We got money that we robbed, and we got pulled over for a traffic violation. And we matched the description of the people who robbed that pharmacy in Springfield. Okay. Well, when they arrested us for the armed robbery, we also fit the description of people who had pulled other robberies in San Bernardino, in Phoenix, in New Mexico. In other words, there was 5 or 6 other cases that they tied us into in the crime spree that we were on.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we got caught, my, they locked us in jail, and like I fell asleep that night. When I woke up next morning, FBI was there. I went down and talked to them, and they asked me, the first thing they asked me was about the boy Hercules. Hercules, I stabbed a dude named Hercules in Los Angeles, the one that I crept up on when he was, I was telling you about. And I said, well, what the fuck, man? This motherfucker been out here. I said, Gary already been out here to talk to you guys or something? He said, yeah. I said, well, shit, I ain't got nothing to say then, man. I got all the information you need. I got the fuck up and left, right? He was like 17, going on 18. I was 20, going on 21. He just fucking opened up and told him he didn't have to tell him about stabbing that dude. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? They didn't even know about that. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he didn't tell him I stabbed the boy in New Orleans. You know? I mean, he was going to tell him everything. Might as well tell him that too, right? But yes. That's how it was, man. He's a kid. He just scared, I guess. I don't know. He just told on every fucking thing, So, yeah. So anyway,
where did the kidnap come in? Where did the kidnap come in with this at?
Well, it was from New Mexico. There was a warrant for us in New Mexico for that. They didn't know who we were until we got caught. I mean, like it was an all points bulletin. You know what I mean? APB, whatever you call it, right? So when we got pulled over, on the robbery in Springfield, we fit description of the people that robbed the motel.
So you guys get pulled over, you get taken in, they tie you into these other cases, and your co-D at the time, Gary, who's 17, 18 years old, spills the beans. Does he testify against you in court? Does he become a witness for the prosecution?
Sure he did. But, I mean, I took a plea bargain. They were dropping all these other charges, like San Bernardino had me charged with armed robbery, kidnapping and robbery in San Bernardino, armed robbery in Phoenix, and the robbery in Missouri. They were all going to drop all those charges if I just pled guilty to one. There was no way I could beat it, so I pled guilty to it.
How much time did Gary wind up getting?
He got what's called the Youth Act. He got like what they called a Zip 6 back in them days. Zip 6, which is a 6-year sentence.
6 years as opposed to your 25.
I'm telling you, bro. It's definitely it was terrible, bro. It was terrible. Yeah.
Now
they get one of you to flip, and then they make them the guy that you tell we're going to use you against him, and we'll give you a break, and we'll fuck him. That's how they played it. You
did every day at 25 years in the joint, or did you have some good time that played into that or whatnot?
It didn't end there, bro. It didn't end there. I escaped 5 years. 5 days after I got my sentence, I escaped from the county jail in Bernalillo, in Albuquerque. I escaped from jail.
How'd you do that?
I swallowed a razor blade, right? I swallowed a razor blade. First, I took the razor out, I broke it open. I made it dull. I dulled it on the floor, right? I swallowed it, put it in a little piece of toilet paper, swallowed it. And I got the guys in the cell to go knock on the door and tell them, get this crazy motherfucker out of here. He's trying to kill himself. He swallowed a razor blade. They told him the razor was missing the blade and all that. And they said, yeah, this guy just swallowed it. We seen him. They was in on it, right? Anyway, they take me down to the hospital, and they said, well, take all that metal off him, because you can't have metal on the x-ray table, right? They took all the fucking shackles off me, and I jumped up. I had a little knife on me. They didn't find. I made it out of a toothbrush handle. I jumped around. I I jumped off the table and I put it to the guy's throat. I said, I'll kill him. I'll kill him. And believe it or not, the guy that took me down there didn't even have a gun. He didn't have a gun. Anyway, I backed out the door and I ran like a motherfucker. The hospital was right across the street from the University of New Mexico. I got away. I was gone for 16 days. They caught me in Tucson, Arizona, and they charged me with 3 more counts of armed robbery. Yeah.
Did you catch those along the way, or did they just recharge you because you escaped after you pled to the other one?
No, they charged me with 3 armed robberies that happened while I was on escape.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, my girl lived in Tucson. You know, I had a girlfriend that lives in Tucson. And so I got busted for that. And basically, I got 15 to 20 years from them. But it was running concurrently, right? With the
first sentence?
Yeah, so it didn't really affect much. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Petersburg, Virginia. Petersburg's an FCI, it's like down there by Richmond, near Richmond. Got down there, I was there for about 2 months, and we tried to start a car and drive it through the fence. They had a vocational training center there where they would fix cars and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we started up a car. We was going to try to drive it through the fence. Unfortunately, this happened on like 29th of January, like Christmas week, 29th of January, 1975. Yeah, 75. Anyway, we ended up I got 11 years for that one. Okay, we didn't get away. We couldn't get the car started. By the time we got the car started, we lost the element of surprise. There was like snipers everywhere. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty intense. And I got 11 years for that. And that was the last time I was ever in a medium security institution. For the next 18 years, I was in max joints, you know, and shit, right? So I got 11 for that. That made it 36, right? Then that was consecutive, with the 20 running concurrent with it. Okay. Then we got to Atlanta. My cell partner had killed another inmate about 5 years earlier, but he didn't get indicted because they couldn't prove it. He got an institutional write-up and all that, but there wasn't enough evidence to take him downtown and get him indicted. There's nobody to testify. He busted a dude's head with a 2x4. Dude had robbed him. Okay. And he waited for the chance to get even, and he split his shit and killed him. So anyway, we had a beef with this dude. It was over some drugs. There was some words. There was a fist fight. And the next morning we found, because there were 6 men, and we were in a cell. There were 6 men cells, 6 men to a cell in the old Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. This is before they renovated it. The old Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. It's renovated now, just like Leavenworth. It's not like it used to be, but they basically so what I'm saying is, the next morning after all this bullshit with this dude, one of his cell partners told us that he was making a knife in the cell that night. Like he was trying to get a knife, right? and he didn't have one, I guess, so he was making one. That was for us. Okay.
Mhm.
So we said, well, we're going to move on him first. And we did. The next day, we killed him. And in the course of that murder, my co-defendant cut his finger halfway off. So there was a drop of blood every 8 inches going to our cell. So it was a trail, It was kind of hard to, Anyway, we pled like self-defense and shit, but, they sent us to Marion Control Unit, and essentially, we took a plea bargain, 10 years, and so that made it 46 years, you know what I mean?
Shit.
And under the old federal parole guidelines, 45 years in life was like the same thing, because 45 years and up, you only did 30 years.
Okay.
For a mandatory release, unless you killed a cop or a government witness or something like that. There was a couple of things: prison guard, cop. Then there was no mandatory release. If you killed, I think it was a government witness in retaliation or whatever, that was another one, I think. But none of these things applied to me,
Let me ask you something real quick, Mike. Pardon yourself. You said that your cellmate in Atlanta had killed a guy a few years earlier, and that was the beef. So why were you involved in that? Why was dude trying to shank you up? You said
no. That murder that he had 5 years earlier, I wasn't no part of that.
Right on. But the
Right.
dude why was the dude trying to shank you guys? I guess is what I'm asking. What was that about?
It was about drugs. Drugs. Yeah. Yeah.
So he got down on y'all, or y'all got down on him, and somebody wanted retribution for it. So he decided he was gonna try to stab y'all behind.
Right.
Okay. I missed that part. I must have missed that part, because I'm thinking like, okay, if that's not his beef, then why did that have? What did that have to do with Mike? Basically, you feel me?
Involved in that, because I even told the dude, I said, man, you stay the fuck out of our business, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I don't know why you keep talking to people about what we're doing. Just mind your own fucking business, dude. I was rather stupid in them days, man. I was trying to show, off, I guess. Young and dumb. Trying to be. Anyway, I regret that, by the way. And one of my major regrets in my life is that we didn't figure out a way to squash that instead of just, doing what we did. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a killer.
Shit, Mike, you just told me you stabbing people across the country for months before you were arrested. So you seem like a killer to me, Mike. Okay, shit.
I was very hot tempered, man, when I was younger. Very hot tempered. Very hot tempered.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that situation there, it shouldn't have done. We shouldn't have followed through that. I just feel that we should not have followed through with that. It wasn't necessary.
Well, I mean, I guess it was necessary. If he's putting together a shank for you, it's either a shank for you or one for him. So in that situation, I wouldn't feel no type of way about it. I mean, that's just my opinion, And that in a situation where it's my life or yours, I don't feel no way about walking away from it in the end,
Right. Well, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. I'm thinking that we could have talked it over. We could have went to the dude and said, look, man, let's just squash this. You know what I mean? Because, we can do you can do us. It ain't gonna, it's nobody's best interest to do it, to let this go any further. Let's just forget it. Because we used to do a lot of business with the guy. You know what I mean? We got drunk with him and all that,
Mm-hmm.
So I think handle it differently is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
But we didn't.
So that's Atlanta. You said they sent you to Marion. That's the murder that got you sent to the control unit?
Right. And that's where I met John Greshner. They had just sent Big Al was already there for his murder. A couple of guys from DC there, Norty, Punchy, Steamboat. They sent that asshole Steamboat. He got murdered there. Cadillac went there. He got murdered. That other dummy, fuck was his name? I forget. They strangled him through the bars.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. I know who you're referring to. I can't think of his name either. Yeah.
It starts with a C. Starts with a C. Yeah, I didn't really know him that well. I just know of what he was doing and why he got killed and what brought it on and all that shit. But like, I wasn't interacting with the guy or anything. So, you know.
Ray Chappelle. Somebody in the audience says Chappelle.
Chappelle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Omar Chappelle, yeah.
Salute. Who was that? Sidewinder. Salute. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of crazy shit going on at Control. There were 6 murders in 4 years, and there was only 55 people in that unit. I'm gonna tell you this: during that same period, the New York Department of Corrections had 5 murders. We had 6 murders in 4 years. They had 5 murders in 4 years, and they had a population of 60,000 inmates. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The corrections in New York, all of the Department of Corrections had 60,000 inmates and only 5 murders. We had 6 murders out of a population of 55 men. You see the exponential murder rate was.
Pardon yourself. You're starting to get a bunch of feedback on your end. Do you hear feedback when I'm speaking to you?
No, I did hear some wee shit a little bit ago, but not now.
Yeah, it's something around your voice. Some type of feedback I'm receiving right now.
No, can you hear me better now?
Let me see what I can do on my end. If I can't adjust it on my end in the audio, you might have to go in and come back out for me.
All right. How do you do that?
Let's see.
Let's see.
I'm in the audio, default echo, automatically adjust mic. Say something for me.
What's up? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just it sounds robotic or whatnot. So what'd you say? Sounds fine to me. Y'all say it sound fine? How does it sound to the audience? Rick B says he sounds fine to me. Somebody else confirm that he sounds fine, and I'll continue the way we are because I can understand him. It's just a little bit of feedback on my end that's making him sound robotic. Just waiting for confirmation. Sidewinder says, sounds okay. All right. So what were you saying? You said that the jail was what type of capacity? You were talking about Marion control unit?
Control unit had 55 people in it.
Okay.
We had 6 murders in 4 years.
How many murders?
6.
6 murders in 4 years.
4 inmates and 2 guards.
4 inmates and 2 guards. Okay.
In 4 years, yeah. The Department of Corrections in New York State had 60,000 inmates, and they had 5 murders in 4 years. The same time span, they had 5 murders.
Okay.
But the population of the New York Department of Corrections was 60,000. You see the difference?
I do.
It's a big difference, an incredibly big difference. Yeah, so it was pretty wild, you know.
So how many murders were you involved in prison?
Just one.
Just the one. Somebody who snitched on you in jail? We had a conversation
I did. I stabbed another guy after. Okay, I stabbed one of the witnesses, which was that's another dumb fucking thing I did, because I already got a 10-year fucking sentence. I mean, I didn't get life. Why should I do that? But I caught one of the witnesses and I stabbed him. And again, I got indicted for attempted murder. And I took a 10-year plea bargain, and it was running concurrently. So it really didn't bother anything. The sentence was still, it didn't make the sentence longer because it was a concurrent sentence. Yeah, I did. I stabbed another inmate that told on me about the murder. Yeah.
Now, we talked about this the last time we spoke about this. Did you get a chance to see who was it? George? Who's the dude that snitched on you initially? George? What was his name?
Originally, who?
The dude that snitched on you about the robberies and everything, and about Hercules.
No. I never saw him again after we got sentenced. No.
And you told me that you didn't have any hard feelings toward him because he was just a kid. Or was it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't too happy with what he did, man. Like, I don't know, man. It was just he was my buddy, you know. I mean, he was scared. I don't know what the fuck to say about it, you know.
You didn't put the word out that he was a snitch on the compound or anything like that. Try to get word to wherever he was being housed at.
I never seen him after we left the county jail. You see what I mean? I never seen him. People in the county jail were saying, "You should fuck him up. You should fuck him up." You know, for what, man? You know, what's the point now? What's that going to do? You know what I mean?
But you stabbed the other witness for witnessing against you at the other joint.
Right. It's a good point, dude. Yeah. I noticed you asked me that the last time too. Mm-hmm. You want to know the reason why I stabbed this one and didn't stab my other co-defendant?
Yes, sir.
Well, basically, because I was like more schooled in the ways of the convict. You dig what I'm saying? They laced me up to tell me, like, if somebody rats on you and you get a chance, you're supposed to move on them. And if you don't, then people are going to look at you like you're weak. So that's kind of the reason I moved on the guy, you know, because I believed that, you know.
You didn't want to be considered one of the weaker ones in jail or whatnot. So you let them influence your decision is what you're saying in order to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You don't think you would have done anything to him otherwise?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, it was all over. You know what I mean? What the fuck? I already had my time. I already got a really good break, you know. What the fuck? What was I even thinking? What if I'd have killed him? You know? What if I succeeded in killing him? You know what I mean? That would have been a life sentence. Yeah. As it was, I was facing another 10 years. And I just said, fuck it, man. They're going to run it concurrent. That's a good deal. Let's do it, you know?
So you wound up doing 30 years altogether?
29 years, 4 months, and 10 days. Yeah.
How old were you? You said you were 21 when you first got locked up? So you came home 50?
Yeah, I was 20 when I got locked up. 6 weeks from my 21st birthday, I got locked up. And I come home when I was 50. Yeah. This September the 15th will make 22 years that I've been out.
September 15th.
Yeah, that's when I got out. 22 years ago. Yeah.
Never been back to jail?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have. But I mean, I walked off the federal parole. I did 5 years on federal parole, and they let me go. I caught a case I got a possession of heroin case in Illinois. I was driving through Illinois. It's about 10 years ago. I was driving through. I got pulled over and I had a little heroin. So I got a 2-year sentence. I did a year in the state down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no more hiccups since you have been home from the 50-year bid.
No, nothing serious. A couple little speed bumps. You know what I mean? Possession charges mostly.
Well, that lets me know that there's no such thing as institutionalized, especially a man that has did 30 years, and then you add the extra year or so that you were sent to 31 years in prison and came home and managed to stay home for 20 years or whatnot and live a productive life. I don't like hearing the word institutionalized. He's institution. That's why he keeps going back to jail. No, he keep going back to jail because he like it there. It's something there for him. I keep telling people jail is not summer camp. Anybody, and you said this earlier, and I'm just going to say this plain. Anybody that had fun in jail is a fun boy to me. Ain't shit fun about jail. You were saying dog could have came out, he could have came out in the population and enjoyed some of the, ain't shit to enjoy. I was thinking in my mind, like, enjoy what? ain't shit to enjoy. Like, you might be able to go to a vocational program that take your mind away from the fact that you're doing prison time, but at the end of the day, the number is still on your back. You still wearing these prison greens, blues, grays, whatever the color is that you in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing, man. You can run. Look, I like to run. I was a runner. I could run the track. I used to run 6 miles a day, play handball. A lot of things you can't do in Marion, man. Especially after it got locked down when the cops got killed. You couldn't do nothing after that. Drugs, they stopped contact visits. How you gonna get drugs in? People like to drink. People like to get high. Those are things that take your mind off of doing time. You know what I mean? Those are things that make prison a little more comfortable, is what I'm saying.
I just gotta disagree, homie. I'm sorry.
How much
you
time?
Did a lot more time than me. I did a few years. I did a meatball in the state penitentiary. Wasn't shit fun about it. Fuck the weed, them little pencil ass joints they come with. Fuck the spud juice. Fuck that jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them that did my time and ain't never been back. I learned my lesson. You know what I'm saying? Either I became good with crime or I became a citizen. You feel me? That's actually how it went. I became good with crime for a minute, then I became a law-abiding citizen. I grabbed a job. I started a family. you know what I'm saying? All of that other good stuff that comes with being a citizen.
Yeah, looks like you did good for yourself too, man. How old are you now?
And so have you. That's what I was getting at. That's why I said I don't like the term institutionalized.
How
you know
old
what I'm saying? You've done good for yourself since you come home.
How old are you?
How
old are you?
44.
Oh shit. Okay.
44 years old, man.
Yeah.
I'm still young.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're real young. Yeah. A lot of life ahead of you, man. Sure. What happened, man? I heard your channel got you got some kind of beef with the channel or something.
Yeah, the guy from the Eon Cat, the dude from the DC Blacks YouTube channel. He got one of my most recent videos taken down or whatnot. He went through YouTube and got it taken down for quote unquote violating their community guidelines.
They said you were bullying them, huh? Cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying and over-sexualizing him. It has something to do with sexualizing him. It was he didn't like that I was telling people how he got his nickname, the Pink Panther, in the penitentiary. He didn't like that. I guess it was a little vulgar the way I said it according to YouTube standards. So he used that. They send you timestamps. You can go at the timestamp where you suppose everything was about Eon. You know what I'm saying? I spoke about a multitude of stuff, but everything that was timestamped that was supposed to be wrong that was said was about him. That's how I know he did it. Plus, he went on his channel and said, if we keep playing with him, that would be me and Gully TV, that we're subject to losing our channel, which I don't know how the fuck he gonna do that. But
Eon snitched on you. Eon Williams snitched on you from DC Facts. I read the paperwork. I already know you sent it to me. I read it. He said you were cyberbullying him. You were talking nasty about him, and he didn't like it. It's bad about. I thought, you know what's killing me, man? He's always talking about rich snitches. That's what that's his whole channel. He keeps what the fuck kind of bitch motherfucker was that move? That's a bitch move, man. He told the fucking people, man, that you were bullying him, man. How's that manly? How is that not snitching?
It jives because of the type of person he is. Remember, they said in his psychological report that he's a fake tough guy. That he's basically a blowfish. He blows up in the face of danger to make himself a big and bad DC Black, and then when everybody leaves, he's a goldfish again. You know what I'm saying? So it jives with his personality and what goes with him. I didn't even think better of him. Put it like that. I knew something like that was coming sooner than later.
Let me say
because
this.
of the way the world works, you know.
When I first read that shit about him telling on that dude, what's his name? Them two guys, what was it?
Darren Ware?
Yeah. And the other guy, what's his name?
I think it was Nall. Donald Nall, Darren Ware, and Kareem.
Yeah. When I read that about him, I said, well, you know, he did that just like my co-defendant did because he was real young when it happened. And I understood how that works because when you're young like that, sometimes you don't have you don't have a lot of, knowledge on how to deal with the police and shit. And you just, young kids tend to just blurt out everything, So I wasn't really looking at him as being an out and out piece of shit until I read what he did about your channel, how he tried and called you a bully and said that you were picking on him and calling him names and like who the fuck does that, man? Like what kind of a bitch motherfucking coward snitching ass motherfucker? And then you got the nerve to go on this fucking channel and talk about other people being snitches? That's his whole channel, dude. He don't talk about he's got no content, I was looking at Gully the other day, man. Gully, and I haven't really, watched a whole lot, but he goes to different countries. He interviews interesting people. He's actually got content worth watching. I seen him do an interview with Haitian Jack, which I thought was really good. And it was just it was an intriguing fucking an interesting storyline and everything. It was good content. In other words, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker, all he does is eat potato chips and talk about like who's the fuck, like he's talking about Alpo's a rat and some other guy. We all know that. So what? The fuck you telling us for? We know that. Everybody in the whole world knows that. It's like he's just, and then the only type of motherfucker he brings on his show that he wants to impress people with is this fucking Fly, the big rapist. The fucking, I mean, come on, man. That's the kind of motherfucker you look up to. I mean, I never knew Fly was a rapist when I was in prison with him. I never asked him. I didn't give a fuck because I'm not, I'm not his crew. I'm not fucking with him. He's in a whole different, part of the fucking universe. For me, I'm not fucking with that dummy. I mean, I see him and that's it, but really, dude, I found out he was a rapist and shit. He'd bring him on the show like as if to say, look at this guy. He did 50 years. Well, so fucking what? I did 30 years, what does that make him? Does that make me smart? Does that make me cool? And that doesn't make anybody smart or cool to do a lot of time. He tries to make it sound like the guy's a real gangster or something. He's a rapist. He's a fucking rapist, man. And then
those are all the gangsters, all the people that he says is real gangsters are the guys that are the sexual assaulters, the dudes that press dudes for sexual activity. Cadillac.
Look,
Steamboat.
Look. He was on another show. Fly was being interviewed by Chad Marks on Blood on the Razor Wire, right? And Chad was asking him about Cadillac. And he said, was Cadillac a sexual predator? And you know what Fly said? He said, I never heard that. Never heard that? You're from Washington, D.C. Everybody knows that Cadillac was fucking a predator, man. Everybody, the whole prison knows that. How you gonna be from Washington, D.C.? So he was lying, in other words. You know what I mean? Of course he knew. And then he comes up with that bullshit story about he went in the fucking cell and robbed all the Mexican mafia guys, made them take, shook them down, took their dope. I knew when he said that it was bullshit. It just wasn't possible. It was a bullshit story. But then
somebody told me if he'd have done that, he'd have so many knives sticking out of him, he'd look like a pincushion.
Then we find out what really happened when that boy testified. What did he say?
He said that he raped a young Chicano inmate, a young homosexual Chicano inmate in USP McNeil Island, and they almost got killed behind it.
That makes more sense than the fucking story he told about, because that I knew that wasn't never gonna happen. He gonna run in the Mexican mafia itself and rob them people. That's his story. The real story is he raped a Chicano inmate, a homosexual. That's the real story, I mean, the shit that this motherfucker comes out of his mouth is ridiculous, man. And then the punk Leon or Eon, he said, "Oh, he didn't say that. He said that he had 12 guys." No, he didn't say he had 12 guys. He said he went in there with 12 guys. That's what Eon said. No, he didn't. I heard what he said. He said he went in there by himself with a knife and robbed the whole cell. 12 guys. I heard what the fuck he said. I'm not stupid. This motherfucker tries to just change shit, man. The guy got 2 murders mixed up. Okay. The ones with Barry Mills in Atlanta. Apparently he knew Barry in Atlanta when he got them 2 homicides. He got them 2 murders mixed up. He said the first murder happened and then the second murder, he got them mixed up. So obviously he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about there. And when I brought that point up, the faggot Eon said, "Oh, he didn't say that." He said, "No, he didn't. I heard what the punk said. I heard exactly what the punk said." Oh man, it's stupid, bro. And then the fucking Eon gets on. Apparently he thought I said something about him, which I didn't. I never said no. I'm saying something now because he said something about me, but he gets on there and says, "Man, you're this, and you fuck with Greshner, and Greshner's a rat, and that. Motherfucker, what do you care what I fuck with? You know what I'm saying? You fuck with that rapo ass motherfucker, that sex offending motherfucking piece of shit fly. How you gonna point your finger at anybody else, motherfucker? All this hypocrisy, man. It doesn't make no sense, bro. Like that's your fucking claim to fame, that you sit there and point out shit that everybody already knows? What kind of audience do you have anyway? You know what I mean?
Eon will be dead in the water in no time. Like you said, he has no content. If you look at his channel, the most views he gets is when Fly talks. I guess Fly's run out of stories, or they're getting enough blowback from the channel for him to stop running Fly content the way he was running it on a regular basis. You look now, he's getting 500, 700 views. That Fly was getting a few thousand. He's not getting those numbers because, just like you said, he'll go live and eat potato chips. And I don't know. I don't watch the kid, put it like that. But I do look at his numbers because of the way he interacts with myself. You know what I mean? I don't even call it a beef or nothing like that, because those are the type of dudes that'll see you dead ass in the gas station and look down and hope you don't see them and walk off. You know what I'm saying? I don't call it's not a beef. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. We trading jabs across line, I guess. You feel me?
Look, he said some sick shit about, "Man, I'll beat your ass." How you gonna do that, motherfucker? You're 500 miles away. Why would you even say that? You know what I mean? Then he said, "Don't fuck with me. I'm from Washington, D.C." What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, I've never seen a state or a city or whatever so proud to have the largest amount of African American men imprisoned in my life. That's what standing up for the DC Black. That's what the good men in the DC Blacks and this and that. You're proud that your particular state has the largest amount of African American men imprisoned in the federal penitentiary. That's what they're proud of, and that shit is stupid to me. You know what I'm saying? It makes absolutely no sense, man. It's ass backwards. He should be trying to get some of them men out or whatnot. If that's what he's a great writer. He's a legal writer. He's a lawyer. He even told somebody he's a lawyer. Well, if you're a lawyer, get some of them men out of jail. Throw some appeals their way. Do something productive for them men instead of just talking about them on your channel and who they were, because that shit is hurting. You want to talk about the charges they caught and how they was a hell of a man in the streets doing this to this person and that to that person, or selling this big amount of weed or weight, and that's hurting their chances of coming home. You know what I'm saying? Talk about the man they became behind bars. Talk about them being a productive inmate and not getting into no beefs, not having no motherfucking tickets, not this, not the other, and trying to have a second chance at life. He won't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man. There's some heavy dudes come out of DC. Norty, Punchy, Terry Trice, bunch of them guys. You don't see none of them guys interviewing on his channel. They probably don't want to fuck with his punk ass. You know, they probably know he's a bitch and shit. You know.
I agree.
What did he say? Somebody slapped him and he wouldn't even fight back.
Man. I can't even fathom that, man. Can you fathom a man open hand slapping you and you talking about, I'll be back? Wait till I get back. Oh, no, I'm coming back.
No, he didn't even come back. Look, man,
then he get on his live and he does not, he acknowledges the fact that he been slapped, but said he ain't been spit on. Well, it's about the same difference if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, talk about the dude, he say spit on me. He ain't gonna tell you he spit on me yet, but I bet he'll say he slapped the shit out you though. And that's about the same difference as being spit on, if you ask me, brother.
I seen him one of his videos where the dude was trying to call him out. Said, man, please meet me somewhere. Tell me a time and place. I'll be there. And he wouldn't tell him shit. He was scared of the dude. If you were that fucking bad, if you're supposed to be a gangster the way you project yourself to be, why wouldn't you fucking go meet that dude, man? He's called you out in front of the world, in front of the whole United States on YouTube. And you just sat there like a bitch, wouldn't fight the guy, man. Like, what the fuck, man? And,
here's my thing, man. You know, for a person that's supposed to carry themselves like a gangster, because he says he's a gangster, he pushes his knife, he shoot his gun, whatever he says he does, he does. Okay, cool. But if it's all like that, I don't know too many real gangsters on the internet. And by that, what I'm saying is, I just watched a video about an hour before we came on of him and Aunt Glizzy going back and forth, and him threatening Aunt Glizzy with physical violence, threatening his uncle with physical violence, threatening his mama. I'm like, dog, if you actually intended to do anything you talking about, you a dumbass, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Second of all, why would you jump online and give me a ups? You know what I'm saying? You jumped online telling me what you about to do. I'm gonna ring your uncle off whatever block he on just because of you and this and that and other, and your mama this and this. Listen, man, all of that type of behavior is not what men do. A man, as a man, I stand on a firm foundation to cover the ground over which I stand. What that means is, if I have a problem with you, Mike, I'm gonna address you.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna bring your mother into it. I'm not gonna bring your uncle into it. I ain't gonna bring your children into this equation. This is me and you. I ain't got no issue with them. You know what I'm saying? But the first thing that coward does is run to the internet and post pictures of people's family, pictures of people's kids, their mothers. That's what he did to Gully. He put up pictures of Gully's mother, pictures of his home, his cars, on his Instagram. That's what he'll do. You know what I'm saying? Do you live here? Is this your house? Like he gonna do something, like he gonna come knock on the door. Is this your car? Like he Diddy or something. He gonna throw a cocktail in it. I don't know, man. He's just a weird character, bro. That's all I can say.
And his audience, man, they must be lames just like he is, you know. I really don't understand. I mean, who'd want to watch that mother? Gully, at least he has content. He has I can tell he's an intelligent dude, you know. I'm watching some of his content recently, and I'm impressed. You know, he does have some good content. He did a thing with Haitian Jack, which I was really amazed. I mean, he's into the hip hop shit, which I'm not really into, but you know, he made it interesting for me, and I'm not even a fan of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree. Gully TV does have some good interviews. He has some good content on his channel or whatnot. Nothing like what you'll find on Dude's channel. And his whole problem, his whole problem with Gully is the fact that Gully sided with me.
Yeah, yeah. Gully says he's a blade.
And I don't even know Gully. I don't talk to Gully. I don't have Gully's number. Or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Me and Gully had words in the past. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's what people don't understand. Like, just because I say, oh yeah, dude telling the truth, that don't mean that I'm going against you because you're on the other end of that truth. That just mean dog, what he's saying is true. Now, if you feel some type of way about the other shit, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's part of your psyche, your manhood. I don't know what to call it, but it ain't on me. You feel me?
Yeah. He tried to say I was a rapo. He tried to say I'm a sex offender. I told him, look, man, like I did a video called "So What's in a Name," right? So anybody that wants to watch it, check it out. It's on my catalog of videos. It was done about a year ago. I addressed all that shit. You do what I'm saying? If you can find my name on any sex offender list, show it. Put it on TV. Put it on the fucking video. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna find that. So, I mean, everybody tries to smear somebody with something they think that's gonna make them look less than. You know what I'm saying?
He says to me, he doesn't say to me, but he wrote a comment and said that you're a racist. That's why I opened this up asking you, are you a racist, Mike, or whatnot? But aside from that, just like you said, he said you're a rapo. He said I break into cars. He said I'm wanted for breaking into cars right now.
That's what he
took a screenshot from my channel, chick, and put it on his and put a caption, wanted for breaking into cars, shaking my head. I said, come on, man, if you can find anything that got me wanted for any type of crime, wherever, I shut my channel down, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Cut it out, man. Even though breaking into cars, I don't know. If that's what you do, that's what you do. It ain't like, you know what I'm saying? All crime is crime. You feel me? But cut it out, man. Breaking into cars, no, man. We came up a little bit different than that.
Breaking into cars, that's for sure. Listen, bro, I watched him talking about one time he was saying when he was in prison, he was selling shots of coffee that was his hustle in prison. Selling shots of coffee? What kind of hustle is that, man, in prison? What the fuck? I know you's a broke motherfucker. He's probably sucking dick for potato chips.
Oh, shit.
That petty, man.
I gotta cut that, Mike. You gonna get me shut down, brother. That's crazy, but yeah, hey, facts is facts, man. Shit.
Selling shots of coffee? What kind of fucking bullshit hustle is that?
He didn't say he was running a store. He said he was selling shots of coffee, huh?
I think he said he ran a store too. A store can be lucrative.
A store can be lucrative.
Okay, it definitely can. But shots of coffee? I wouldn't even. I mean, that's petty, man. That's like shoplifting or something in fucking Walmart or something. You know, I mean, it's a bum hustle, is really what it is. You know?
Absolutely.
But man, fuck that dude. I'm tired of talking about him. You know?
Right on, Mike, man. We an hour 15 in.
I guess.
If you got anything else you want to say to the audience, man? Get off your chest.
No, not really, bro. I just, I'm glad I got to do another interview with you because there's a lot of shit we didn't talk about the first time,
And a lot of shit that still we need to talk about, man. I enjoy your company over here, man. I appreciate you coming out and sharing your story with us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. A lot of people needed to hear that. I think it was real big of you to say that you feel like you were pressured into stabbing that witness or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people would have said that they played the gangster card. Yeah, he told on me, so I stabbed that motherfucker 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying? No, that was real. That was a real emotion you displayed. That was a real comment you made, saying that, yeah, I regret doing this and that, and I probably shouldn't have did that. And I respect that to the fullest, man.
I appreciate that. All right, I really do.
Well, all right, Mike, I'm gonna let you go, man. I know you probably got to work in the morning. like I do. So whenever you want to come back, man, shit, you got my number. We gonna kick it in the meantime, in between time, and find a reason to get back on this screen together, man.
All right, we'll do that. I sure will, bro. Thanks.
Right,
Appreciate
yes,
your audience, man. Appreciate your audience.
Oh, yes, sir. Anytime. Like I said, man, you're a welcome guest here. And I don't want to hear no more shit about Mike. That dude is a racist. That dude is this, that dude is that. He just basically answered everything you need to know as far as charges, as far as his affiliation or lack thereof with the brand or the Aryan Brotherhood or what. Let me ask you this before we go, Mike. Have the Aryan Brotherhood and the Dirty White Boys ever clashed? That you know of, at least?
Not really. Let me say this, man. The Aryan Brotherhood is a serious prison gang. They're dangerous. They'll kill you. The Dirty White Boys aren't really a gang per se. They're a group. I've never known of anybody in the Dirty White Boys killing anybody. So if that to me isn't a prison gang. I'm not saying they're punks. I mean, I know a lot of them that were good dudes and everything. I fuck with them, but I mean, other than that, man, they're not really that violent, if you know what I'm saying. They're not murderers. They're just not. They're good dudes, some of them, and some of them are bums and shit too, right? But as far as the Aryan Brotherhood, they are a dangerous group,
Is that dude, now I know you don't talk about other channels, I'm not trying to get you to do such, but there's a dude named Convict Inc. or something like that, and he had a video up on you. I don't want to talk about that. Does he associate himself with the Dirty White Boys? You ever seen him? Because I think that's the first person I heard say that.
I think I have seen him. Yeah, I think I have. I remember seeing him on there once or twice. Yeah. I think
he associates himself with the Dirty White Boy. Now, I'm not sure if he's a member or he's just riding their coattail for content, because you know how that goes. But in any event, I might break his video down because he had some things to say about you, man. And we cool, man. So I might have some shit to say about him about that shit. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, next time we will.
All right, brother. Well, I'll get back with you next time. Thanks for coming out, bro.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Peace.
They'll tell you I ain't never been a bitch, nigga. I pop niggas, bitch, I'm really with the shits, nigga. I hit niggas, double barrel to his abs. When that Mossberg hit him, watch a nigga do a dab. These pussy niggas wanna see me dead. Since bottle 9, I done had a ticket on my head. I kill shooters till that nigga get his bread back. ATM the gang, now I send that nigga head back. Whoever said that love begets love was wrong. I'm from a city where blood begets blood. And slugs hit niggas mug. That ain't bugs and cuffs. That's choppers for that loose talk. I'm coming plug you up. Pussy, push me, I bet he never see another day. Chop at your face, bet you never see another K. When I get to shooting, this motherfucker get out the way. 0 to 100.